The phone slipped from my hand, clattering onto the hardwood floor with a sound like breaking bones. Text glowed on the screen, each word a shard of glass embedding itself deep into my chest. I need one last trip with him, Ben. Full closure. Please understand. My fiancée, Elise, was upstairs, packing for a weekend away. With her ex. The air in our living room thickened, heavy with the scent of a lavender perfume and the bitter tang of my own disbelief. I stood frozen, staring at the phone as if it might unsay what I'd just read. We'd been engaged for 6 months, our wedding date etched in July's soft promise. Elise had always been a whirlwind. Her laugh a melody that could unravel my worst days, her touch a tether to something brighter than myself. But now, as I climbed the stairs, each creak of it would echo the dread pooling in my gut. The bedroom door was ajar, and through the gap I saw her folding a red sundress into a suitcase. The same dress she'd worn on our first date, when we'd danced under string lights at a rooftop bar. Her eyes locked on mine like I was her whole world. "Elise," I said, my voice a stranger's, rough and unsteady. She toned, her hazel eyes wide, a flicker of guilt darting across her face before she masked it with a smile. "Ben, you're home early." Her tone was too bright, like a light bulb about to burn out. She zipped the suitcase, the sound sharp, final. I was just getting ready for the trip. With Derek. The name tasted like ash. Her ex, the one she'd dated for 3 years before me. The one she'd sworn was history, buried under the weight of our future together. Her smile faltered, her hands pausing mid-motion. "You saw the text?" It wasn't a question. She stepped toward me, her bare feet silent on the rug, her expression a tangle of defiance and pleading. "It's not what you think. I just need to see him one last time. To close that chapter. You know how messy things were when we broke up." Messy. That was her word for it. She'd told me fragments, arguments that left her crying in her car, his jealousy that bordered on obsession, the way he'd call her at 2 a.m. begging for another chance. But she'd also told me about the good times, road trips to the coast, late-night talks under starlit skies, a bond one could never fully grasp. I'd dismiss it as nostalgia, the kind of rose-tinted ache you feel for a past that's gone. Now, though, doubt gnawed at me, sharp and relentless. "Why now?" I asked, my voice low, each word a stone dropped into still water. "We're getting married in 4 months. Elise, why does closure matter now?" She sat on the edge of the bed, her fingers twisting the engagement ring I'd given her, a simple band with a sapphire, her favorite stone. "I've been thinking about it for weeks," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I keep dreaming about him. Not romantically, just unresolved things. I need to know I'm choosing you completely, Ben, without regrets." Her words were a blade, slicing through the trust I'd built brick by brick. I wanted to scream, to demand why it wasn't enough, why our love needed a test drive against her past. But part of me, a weak, desperate part, wanted to believe her. Maybe she did need this. Maybe closure was real, not just a flimsy excuse. I sank onto the bed beside her, the mattress dipping under our shared weight, and stared at the suitcase. It was small, meant for a weekend, but it loomed like a Pandora's box, brimming with secrets I wasn't ready to face. "Tell me you're not in love with him," I said, my voice cracking like thin ice. Her silence stretched, a heartbeat too long, and my stomach lurched. When she finally spoke, her words were careful, measured. "I love you, Ben. I chose you." But her eyes wouldn't meet mine, and the air between us buzzed with unspoken truths. I thought of the late-night text she'd brushed off as work, the way she'd linger in the bathroom with her phone, the faint smile she'd wear when she thought I wasn't looking. Small things, easily explained, until now, when they coalesced into a mosaic of betrayal. The next morning, she left. I stood at the window, watching her car disappear down the street, the taillights winking like mocking eyes. The house felt hollow without her, the silent a canvas of my spiraling thoughts. I tried to work, to distract myself with emails and coffee, but my mind kept replaying her texts, her voice, the way she'd said closure like it was a prayer. By noon, I couldn't stand it. I grabbed my keys and drove to Derek's apartment, a place I'd never been but knew from her stories. A brick building near the river, with ivy crawling up its walls. I didn't know what I expected to find. Maybe nothing. Maybe just a glimpse of him, a way to measure the man who still held a piece of her. But when I parked across the street, I saw her car in the lot. My pulse hammered, a drumbeat of fear and fury. The front door of the building swung open, and there she was, laughing, her arm looped through Derek's. He was taller than I'd imagined, his dark hair tousled, his grin easy and familiar. They climbed into his truck, and I followed, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. They drove to a diner on the edge of town, a place with neon signs and checkered floors. Through the window, I watched them sit across from each other, their heads bent close, her hand brushing his as she laughed. It wasn't the laughter of closure. It was a laughter of connection, of shared history, of something alive. My chest boned, the air in the car too thick to breathe. I wanted to storm in, to confront them, but my body wouldn't move. Instead, I sat there, a voyeur to my own heartbreak, watching the woman I loved slip further away with every smile. Hours later, back home, I found her suitcase by the door. She'd returned while I was gone, left a note on the counter. "I'm sorry, Ben. I need more time." The words blurred as tears stung my eyes, but it was a key beside the note that broke me, her copy of our house key, glinting like a discarded promise. I sank to the floor, the note crumpled in my fist, and realized the truth. There was no closure, only choices. And she'd made hers. But as I sat there, the phone buzzed again. Another text from Elise. "I lied. I'm at the airport. I'm leaving for good. Forgive me." The room spun, the walls closing in. I stumbled to the window, half expecting to see her car. But the street was empty. Then I noticed it. A photo on the mantel, one I hadn't seen before. Elise and Derek, taken weeks ago, their faces pressed close, her ringless hand resting on his chest. It had been there all along, hidden in plain sight, waiting for me to see the truth she'd already chosen.